In a tropical tank just south of no man's land live two crabby lads of the crustacean clan. They bicker, they fight, they shake and make up. It's a topsy-turvy decapodal romp. Hermits together, hermits together, hermits together. What in Lob's name do you think you're doing up there, man?
He's picking apart this log, Sin. What does it look like I's doing?
Krillbert, that's our climbing log. We only have one of those, and its utility for climbing will be greatly reduced if you reduce it to a pile of chips and splinters.
Just spread them out and pretend you's at a playground, Crawley. This is important work, it is.
I'm not sure I can fathom the importance of methodically destroying our beloved climbing log. It seems like a brash act from where I'm standing. Really, Krillbert, there's no need to be so brutish all of the time.
Aye, the brutish one. Look at yourself in the drinking water's reflection, cousin. That is, if you can see it at all. The water's getting pretty cloudy from all the pooping you've been doing in it.
Back to the pooping again, my brother. How many times can we scuttle back over this same tired topic? It's an inexplicable compulsion that I'm doing my best to work on.
Yeah, that's what you say. And until then, I'm left fishing out the turds.
Krillbert, I sincerely apologize. Now, Krillbert, stop picking at that log or I'm going to crab hammer you straight in the carapace.
Okay. But only because me pincers are getting sore. Not on account of your crabby little threats.
Any motivation that ceases your incessant whittling is an acceptable motivation to me. Now there's a civilized Cenobiter Clepatus.
Sin.
Fine humidity in the tank today. I'd venture 85, 90%. Right in the range.
Sin.
Ever watched Ibira? Horror of the Deep?
Actually, I haven't seen that one. Any good?
Crustaceophobic as usual, but cathartic in its way.
Sin.
Krillbert, I must ask what's the matter. There's been an awkward tension in the terrarium lately. Now with you exhibiting destructive tendencies and my own defecatory anomalies, it all seems to be coming to a head. But why?
It be Dungenon.
Dungenon? He's been hibernating so long I almost forgot the fellow existed.
He dug down deep and won't come out, Sin. Without him, we'd be missing a wheel.
And it just isn't a tricycle without 3 wheels.
Let's be giving him a shout then. Dungenon.
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 Dungenon. The hide-and-seek game is over. I ollie Oxenfreed you over 6 months ago.
Dungenon. Dig on out of there. Who's gonna play the bongos in the band if you don't rise up?
I can play bongos.
I'm begging you. Come back up into the light of the heat lamp.
Sad as it is to say, it appears that our arthropod ally has ascended to the great mangrove swamp in the sky. I'll get the customary funereal fruit.
It is warm here. A warmth like I remember the whole world feeling when I was but one of thousands clumped together on the furry pleopons of my mother. I traveled without volition, a silent passenger peering out through the murky glass of my amber translucent membrane. One day, without warning, I felt a rush of motion, and the barrier that had once contained me dissolved away. I had been plunged into the heartless sea, the salinity stinging my undeveloped eyes as the tide swept me far out into the callous water. And here did I float, as helpless as before, but now absent of any protecting force, untethered from my mother, and desperately alone. Many times was I nearly inhaled by the colossal beasts passing by, titans of the depths, air-breathing ocean gods driven by their insatiable hunger to genocide the microplankton living all around me. And yet I survived. And all the while, I was changing. My body gradually shifted into fantastical shapes, each new form granting me new abilities, new tools for survival. Eventually, I gained enough.
My lob, he's gone off the deep end.
I don't know what he been burning down there, but it seems to have screwed with his mental health.
The poor bugger was born and bred in the same pet store as you and I. These delusions of oceanic grandeur are a load of codswallows. He clearly left his faculties in his shell when he disrobed.
Tis many a good crab loses himself in the mold. What a wailing shame.
Well, fruit is still on order. The only change is that we won't be mourning the loss of a body, but rather a mind.
True. So Crawley,
Yes, Krillbert?
you do realize that the fruit mix is on the other side of the glass, yeah?
I placed my blue goddess gently onto a bed of flattened kelp
Of
and began tunneling my way
course I did.
on my final
Can't a crab pull a silly gag to lighten the mood every once in a while? Ha
silence
ha.
was solitary.
Dungenon! Your tall tale is riveting. Worthy of a Stephen Kingler novel, really. But story time is done with. I believe that Krillbert and I both have a right to know when you plan on emerging.
The little guy has a point, Dungenon. Show us off your fancy new exoskeleton.
The coconut fibers whisper me their secrets.
That pinches it. He's a lost cause, Krillbert. I've heard more coherent responses from a shrimp cocktail.
Here today, brown tomorrow, sin.
So are you going to let me play the bongos now?
Sorry, Crawley, but you's got less rhythm than a dried up barnacle. No bongos for you, sin.
No fruit. No bongos. And Dungenon is mentally unhinged. A red-letter day in the crabbitat if ever there was one. I'm retiring to the Hermit hut.
Oh, come on, cousin, don't be so steamed about it. If it makes you feel better, you can carry us equipment at the next gig.
Just walking to the hut now.
Think of the
One
instrument
foot
cases
after
as
another,
fancy new
after
shells.
another, after another,
I'll even let you
after
shine,
another.
man.
If my eye stalks were more expressive, you would see that I'm furrowing right now.
Better furrowing than borrowing, am I right then?
I, Pagueroidea, dangling on the edge. I wonder if I could fashion a noose out of these shredded coconut fibers.
Nighty-night, Crawley. I's needs to get back down to business anyway. This log ain't going to tear apart itself, sin.
Move over, Dungenon. I'm plowing down toward you.
Bring some buffet blood.
Ah. You cut me up, Dungy.
Hermits together.
But alas, this happens so often in tales of young love. The molt came much sooner than I would have liked.